Patrick Jones.
Oh, he kind of embarrassed me there a little bit. I wasn't expecting that intro. So, so my name's Patrick, and now what I do is I make math videos. So what I want to talk about really is I want to talk about three things quickly. So I guess I want to talk about how and why I started making math videos, and then I want to talk about some mentorship things that I'm working on, and then I want to talk about sort of a new project that I'm not really totally comfortable doing, but it just seems exciting to me. So I started making videos back in 2006, and originally I was posting them on Google Video, and I don't know if anybody remembers Google Video, and maybe some of you do. A lot of you probably don't because nobody used it, which is why Google bought YouTube. So originally I was posting videos there. Eventually they went to YouTube, but the reason why I started making videos was when I was teaching, you know, I had a good rapport with most of my students, I would like to think. But as soon as I came in, the air went out of the class. You know, I was like, oh, he's here. Oh no, I thought maybe he'd be late and we could leave. And I found it was always weird to me that in math, it's like, you know, when I was taking philosophy and I was taking my history classes and I was taking all these other things, I was expected to come to class prepared. It's like, come to class having read the material, and that way we can be engaged and have a discussion. And in math, it's not like that at all. It's like, okay, I'm somehow going to magically communicate this really complicated material to you in an hour, and it's going to be crystal clear, and you're going to leave here, and it's going to be, you know, somehow I'm going to magically put this stuff in your head, and that's not how it works. And what would happen, how many of you are math teachers? Have we got any math teachers? One, all right, we're best friends. So I'm just going to talk to you. So again, this was math, but I think this will be takeaway for a lot of you. So, you know, 10 minutes into it, they were confused. 15 minutes into it, they were lost. 20 minutes into it, they were angry and just disengaged. And I would leave the class feeling totally defeated. I thought, this is not for me. I'm terrible at this. Why am I doing this? This should be, you know, somebody else should be doing this. Because I just felt like all of a sudden I've wasted 40 minutes of time. And to me, you know, our class time is valuable. And I thought, I'm wasting all this time. So what can I do to get students to be engaged? And personally, I went from being a B student to the #1 person in my class when I did one thing. And that was read the book. And it's like, okay. But you know, math textbooks, they're very technical, right? I mean, it's like, well, yeah, duh. But it's a skill to be able to read a math book, and it's not one that they really teach you. And I found that most students were completely unwilling to do it. I would say, read the book, come to class prepared. That never worked. So I thought, you know, what do students like? They like YouTube. They like watching videos. So I got on YouTube and I thought, you know, there's a million cat videos. There's got to be some math videos on there. And I found one person making videos. They were more for like elementary, middle school. There was this kind of black background, and you know, he used like a digital tablet, and I didn't really like the format, but the instruction I thought was pretty good, but it wasn't appropriate for me for my college students. By the way, I emailed him eventually and we started making stuff, and I said, I think your stuff's good. And he said, yeah, yours too. Why aren't more people doing this? And maybe you've heard of him. His name's Sal Khan of Khan Academy. So, and I think at the time he had, you know, a couple 100,000 views, and I had maybe half that. So now he's pushing 1 billion. So this was back before anybody knew who Sal was. But so I started making these videos for my students, and again, the idea was just to maybe give them a little bit so that when they came to class, all of a sudden they were a little bit more prepared. And that's what happened. All of a sudden, instead of them coming in and being defeated, they were engaged and they were excited. And it freed up a lot of my class time to where I could do more interesting things. I would ask my students, you know, what's your major? Oh, biology. Great, let's talk about let's work into a calculus biology problem today. Oh, economics. Okay, let's talk about, you know, an economics application. History. Okay, the history of mathematics is beautiful. Let's work some of this into it as well, you know? So all of a sudden they were much more engaged and much more excited, and it worked wonders for me. So again, it's not a silver bullet that solved all the problems, but it worked wonders for me. So again, I saw a problem. I didn't see a great solution, and again, it wasn't the complete solution, but it was something that really helped me. And the students liked it. So it was a great thing for me to be able to do. And again, it had clear practical value. So that's the one thing I want to say. And let me show you real quick. Let me show you my setup to show you how easy it is. So I don't know if any of you have ever considered making videos. So people ask me, there we go. So people ask me, they're like, how do you make videos? I said, there's a webcam duct taped to a stack of books. And they're like, no, seriously, how do you make math videos? I'm like, no, seriously, there's a webcam duct taped to a stack of books. You can see my poor little computer. It won't shut. I've got it duct taped as well. So there it is. I think the total investment there was $100. So not free, but it's not like it was, completely crazy. So let's see. So here's what you normally see. You see my hairy left arm. That's the Patrick experience. And most of them are not exciting videos, right? Somebody's not going to come and watch about these when they're bored at night. They watch them at 11 o'clock at night when they need help. And that was my goal, to give them some help when they weren't with me. So I've also tried doing some other stuff. So here's another one I've made. I recently bought a Mac, and I'm like, I don't have no idea how to use a Mac, but I've been using Keynote. If you all know Keynote, it's like PowerPoint. So here's a different format. So this was something I tried to do. I made this like a month ago, something a little more fun. And I'm just sitting on the floor in my house talking about stuff. So I kind of like this. I could sit here and watch it. Here's another one. I don't know if you. So The Simpsons. The original writers of The Simpsons all had advanced, like PhDs, I think from Berkeley or Harvard or Yale. And most of the writers still do. And there's just a treasure trove of fun math things in The Simpsons. And I don't even know if kids watch The Simpsons anymore. I still love it. So in this video, I'm talking about some fun things in The Simpsons. Just talking about some of the subtle math jokes. Again, just pop culture to get people engaged, just something different. And the last one, so I believe it or not, I'm a chess geek as well. And I make chess videos periodically. And this is just a screen, just screen recording software. So again, just 4 different simple ways to do things. It doesn't have to be flashy at all. So the second thing I want to talk about too is just mentorship. So probably 2 days before I came here, I had a teacher reach out, and she said, I love your videos. I'm teaching calculus for the first time. I'm really nervous. Do you have any advice? And I sent her those pictures I just sent you because she thought I had some crazy setup. I said, no, it's simple. It's easy to do. And it's interesting because, I asked my own audience, so of course they were a little biased, and I said, who makes your favorite math videos? Do you know what they said? They said, you. They said, the best videos came from my own teacher. And it makes perfect sense, right? The teacher knows what happened that day. They know what's going to happen the next day. And otherwise, a student's struggling to find stuff. So yeah, maybe they find mine, but they're searching and they love their own teacher's stuff. They said that was by far and away the most valuable. So again, those of you that maybe are thinking about ever doing this, go for it. So the mentorship thing. So we've seen a lot of interesting people on YouTube. Again, this is what I do now full time as I make videos. And we think it's really hard to gain traction now. It's really saturated. So we're really trying to bring people into the fold. So there's a couple of us. I don't know. There's a guy that makes chemistry videos named Tyler DeWitt. There's a guy that does biology videos. His name's Paul Anderson of Bozeman Science. And we're a little more established. We've kind of learned through the years, and we're reaching out to people that we like and to say, you're doing great work. How can we help facilitate what you're doing? Can we give you tidbits? Can we answer questions? I've put people in touch with Khan Academy, people at YouTube. And again, it's just reaching out. So all of you all can be doing that, and I'm sure a lot of you are doing it already. But if there's a new teacher that's coming in, just reach out to them. I remember the first time I taught, there was no prep for me. They're like, here's the book, go teach. And I was like, hey, isn't there going to be a training session or something? Here's the book, figure it out. I was terrified, utterly terrified. There wasn't even anybody, and my advisor, I was a TA at the time, and the person who I was reporting to, he's like, oh, you'll be fine. And it was just, I was a nervous wreck for probably the first year. So that's something simple, all of you can do that. And again, I hope you're doing it, most of it, and I'm sure a lot of you are, but it carries so much weight, and people just really love that. So the last thing I want to talk about, number 3, is something, so I was reading an article probably 2 months ago, and just from like the first split second, I was like, oh, this is really cool what they're doing, and then I read it, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But what I thought it was going to be and what I'm now working on, so in Austin, there's a really cool graffiti wall. It's probably it's on a hill, and it would be like 3 stories high. And there's just professional graffiti artists in Austin that do some really great work there. So what I've done is I've reached out to the graffiti artists, I've reached out to some teachers that I know in Austin, I've reached out to some administrators that I know in Austin, and my goal is, what we're working on is we want to take a group of students, so obviously we're going to start small and see what happens. And the idea is for them to come up with an idea or something that they think is compelling. Maybe it's in math, maybe it's in science, maybe it's in music or art or dance or whatever it is. And what we're going to do is we're going to sync them up with these graffiti artists to really come up with a cool, hopefully something they can make like a mural and really showcase their ideas and just try to showcase, what they think is cool. And we've already got media involved, and all it took me doing was sending emails. It was no money, there's nothing that's happened yet. So it's just reaching out to people, and that's the main thing I want you all to hopefully take away from my talk is, I love going to these sorts of things. You meet all these really cool, creative, interesting people, but a lot of times I go and I hear a lot of data and numbers, and I feel like, that's all well and good, but I don't really have anything that I can take home and use. I want something that's replicable, something that's actionable. So for those of you, and again, it doesn't have to be making videos. Don't make math videos. I don't need another shark in the tank. So, joking. Please, we encourage people. The more voices, the better. I'm totally joking. But if there's a solution that you're encountering, don't wait for the solution to come from someone else. It's a lot of times the power is in your hands. And I didn't know if this would work, but it turned out to be a great idea. And a lot of times, if you're out some time and it doesn't work, no worries. But again, you all are in positions of really making a difference. So just be excited and go forth and make great things, because we can all do it. So don't be scared and don't be nervous. That's the one thing I would say. Just go for it. So, all right. Thank you all.